Hey folks, today we're going to start Unit 12. We're going to start with talking about cross sections. Before we do that, let's talk about some figures, 3D shapes. 3D shapes come in many different kinds. You have prisms, pyramids, cylinders. What we're going to talk about first are prisms. A rectangular prism has two bases which are rectangles. Real world things that look like these are cereal boxes, gift boxes, shoe boxes, etc. You also have triangular prisms. Both the bases on a triangular prism are triangles. These could be like the old tents, door wedges. A square pyramid has one base which forms a square. Notice in the big picture here, see how it forms a square there? That's the base, or the face. You can also say it like this. The base equals the face. Okay? And notice here, there's your triangle prism. It looks like a triangle. The rectangular prism, there's its face or base right there. Now, triangular pyramids have one base that form a triangle. Right there. A rectangular pyramid has one base that forms a rectangle. Right here. Cylinders are similar to prisms, but are circles, not polygons. Cylinders have curved sides that are not flat, and their bases form circles. Excuse me. Real world shapes that are like cylinders would be barrels, Coke cans, canned food cans. Cones have one base, have one circular base. I'll fix that. Cones have one circular base, and a vertex is not at the base. Real world shapes would be like ice cream cones, oil funnels, a tornado. Spheres are a space figure that has all points an equal distance from the center point. These are like basketballs, soccer balls, globes. Now let's talk about cross sections. Cross sections is in shape is when you slice straight through an object. The cross section of the object is different from one shape to another, and it also is dependent on where you slice into the object. What happens is it's like a view of the inside of something from whatever angle you're cutting it at. In other terms, it is the plane that intersects a solid and forms two-dimensional figures. Here are some examples. Notice how a cross-section of a rectangular prism produces a square. When we're cutting this rectangular prism horizontally, it forms a square. Now I know the picture's a little off, so I'll fix it for you. But look, it forms a square, matching the face. When we cut it vertically up and down, it forms a rectangle in the same shape as this side. When you make a cross section of this triangular prism, you make a rectangle. And dependent upon where this cross section is made, whether it's here or even down here, this rectangle may be smaller or it may be bigger, depending upon where you cut it or slice it. But all things change when you cut the cross section from a different direction or an angle. If we take that same triangular pyramid and slice it straight down the middle vertically, we'll get a triangle. But if you veer off just a little bit from the middle, you now get a trapezoid. And that trapezoid, much like this rectangle up here, will change in shape when you move further in or out with your slice. It'll change in size. But because it's a triangular prism and it has equality with it, it will be proportional. One trapezoid will be proportional to the other. Excuse me. So on your own, or with a partner, describe the shapes resulting from the cross sections taken at different locations and angles, from left to right. Looking at this cylinder down here, let's try to guess what we would get with the first object. If I slice straight vertically, straight up and down, what would you get? You'd get a rectangle. If you sliced this, you would get a rectangle. If I took that same cylinder and I cut it at a diagonal, what do you think you'd get? You'd get an oval. And lastly, if I cut straight across horizontally, you'd get a circle. There you go, folks. I hope it wasn't too confusing for you. If you need to look back at the notes, look back at the notes, and then take a whirl at your exit slip. If you got any questions or need any help, please let us know. We'll be in touch with you if you have problems on the exit slip. Otherwise, go ahead and start your homework.